Why does it have to be the dirty water that splashes on your ass? Toilet talk! Toilet talk! Drop, drop, splish, splash, dirty water on my ass. Toilet talk! Toilet talk! So what's going on, everybody? I just wanted to get into what's on my mind today. So I'm sitting here thinking, and life is not set up to make you successful. It's just not. Everything out there is against you. Even the government systems that are set up to educate you are out against you. Why do I say that? Because it's a one-track system. It's there to create what they feel they want you to be. You got to learn math, reading, arithmetic, blah, blah, blah. It's a one-track system. It doesn't take into account if you have dyslexia, if you are not good at math, but you're good at creating. It doesn't take your strengths. It doesn't dig into each individual and pull out what they're good at, what they're bad at, and build upon that. It wants a one-track robotic system. All my life, not all my life, but for a great part of my life, that was stressful. I was not good in school. I was a C average. I didn't care. I didn't want to engage. It didn't matter to me. Nothing grabbed me. There was a few things that did. There was a history teacher we had, a world history teacher, and everybody disliked this teacher so much. He was strict. He was given tests every day. And most people failed that class. Me, I rose in that class. And let me tell you why. It was the presentation. It was the way he did it. He didn't make you sit down and read the book. He would stand there the whole class time and give you lectures on the history. Not only that, he would incorporate modern times with it so you could remember it, so you could relate to it. And then he would give you a pop quiz the next day on everything. Everybody in this class took notes. Write everything out so they could pass that quiz the next day. I never took one note in that class because he projected it in a way where it mentally stuck in my head. Now, a lot of people, there are people who can't grasp images and can't see things, that don't exist. So there's two types of people there. So I was the type of person that if I read it, chances are I was going to forget most of it, and it was just going to go right over my head. I am not going to remember it. It's going to be gone. But the way he presented it, I didn't have to take one note, and I passed every quiz he gave. I went into that class the first semester thinking, this guy's the worst, blah, blah, blah. And I would just sit there, and I got an F, just like everybody else would. But then I started paying more attention, and he started treating me. And I ended up with B's out of that class from there on out because he rarely ever gave A's from what I understand. And so his class was the only thing through school that I remember that worked for me, worked for who I was, the way I thought, the way I was designed, however you want to look at it. And most of my younger life, you have all this pressure put on you. What do you want to do in life? What do you want to be in life? Where you want to go? I came from very low income. College was never even in the equation. Hell, I didn't even know what college was most of my life because nobody I knew even graduated high school, let alone anybody in my family, at least immediate family. I'm still the only one out of my immediate family that actually graduated high school. So it was a lot of pressure and a lot of strain going through life going, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm good at. You had counselors at school, but all they were good for was getting you a job at Kmart. And that was my first job. So I spent all my time trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do in life? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm confused. So I came up with a bottom line foundation to what I want to do in life. I wanted to be happy. Anytime anybody asked me what I wanted to do in life, I said I wanted to be happy. Now, that was a good answer for me, but it was more like a distraction. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but I know I want to be happy. So that's what I told everybody. What I want to do, I don't know. I didn't say I don't know. I just said I want to be happy. And so I built off of that. And I remember I had this one girlfriend who I took it wrong then, but I look back on it now where she was just pushing me, trying to push me into this, push me into that. When I would levitate towards something, she'd try to push it. And at the time, I took it as, she was from upper class and lived in the county and had money or whatever, and I took it as I wasn't good enough. When now that I look back, it wasn't. I don't think it was about that. It was about, I think, her just pushing me. But at the time, I just, that was part of the whole of insecurity of not knowing what I wanted to do, was I didn't think I was good enough to do anything. And when somebody was, put me in that position, I just felt less than because I couldn't figure it out. And I wish there was somebody there who saw me when I was 10 years old digging in dumpsters and creating my own backyard store to say, hey, you're good at this. Go with that. Here's some examples. Whether it was, would be like a junkyard or a salvage person, something about just taking unwanted items and turning them into cash. I wish I had somebody there to throw this, out in front of me so I had something to chase. Instead, I just wandered the earth wondering what the hell I'm going to do. And the older I got, the more insecure I got about it. And I didn't understand what I wanted to do until I was 30 years old. When I told the story before about a friend told me about eBay. We bought some Laserdisc box sets. He sold them for me because I didn't have a computer. And a couple weeks later, he gave me more cash than my paycheck was. And I'm like, holy crap, this is what I want to do. Bells went off, whistles went off, freaking confetti went flying. I'm like, yes, this is what I want to do. I'm going to find stuff nobody wants, and I'm going to flip it. And ever since then, I've been extremely happy with my life. Where was the counselors? Where were the parents? Where were the inspirations? Where was the people you look up to guide you, to inspire you? Where were those in my life? Nowhere. I had to figure it out pretty much on my own. That's what life is. That's what the school systems are. That's what it's not about giving society the best you. It's about giving society another copycat version of the robot to spew out tax money to the freaking government to create their system, instead of harnessing something from each individual and turning that into a lot more than a robot would ever be. And so over the past 18 years selling, especially on eBay, I always got upset with people who say you can't make a living on eBay, or they look down upon it and things like that. It made me think that they think they're better because they're living this 9-to-5 office job, driving a nice car, living in a nice house, et cetera, making X amount of money, dressing in the suit and whatever. And here I am, they're basically putting me down because I sell on eBay. But then I go and jump into a nicer car than they have, drive to a bigger house than they had, and say, fuck you. The virtual fuck you. I remember several times, because one thing I love is nice cars. And those people would look at you, look at your car, look at you, long hair, dressed in t-shirts and freaking whatever, not in no nice ass clothes, just in whatever clothes you feel comfortable in, going, you sell on eBay? You're driving that car? You're what? And it's almost like they couldn't comprehend what was going on. And I love the look in the eye of someone who prejudges you, and then you end up one-upping them in their world, in their mental world of what is success is. And that's always a beautiful thing. For one reason, not to make myself feel better, but two, is to make somebody so judgmental and so narrow-minded, hopefully to open their mind and make them think, go, maybe there's something to this. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe I shouldn't be so judgmental. Maybe, so I think one reason why I like making these videos, and I know it's totally different nowadays for kids, it's a different situation because of the internet. If I had the internet when I was a kid, more than likely, I could have been I would have known of a lot more avenues I could have taken. Whether it was, being a doctor or being a YouTube star making six figures, whatever the case may be, the options are a lot more accessible nowadays, which I think that's a positive. I'm sure there's a lot of other negatives that I don't know about because I'm not in that generation. But from my standpoint, looking at everything, you understand why your parents once said, well, back in my day, or life was harder in my day, or well, I used to walk to school barefooted in snow, uphill both ways with a tornado, So you kind of understand that situation because of the situations, but I don't know. What is my point? My point is, I guess, just don't accept what society sells you. Don't sell yourself short on who you are. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you smile. The only responsibility you have is, or the only thing you need to be is responsible. And everything else, as I've said before, is just up in the air. Do you. And have no negative connotation with it. Condensation. That water on the window. Don't have no negative condensation. But just don't think of yourself as less just because somebody else views you as less because of their robotic society ways. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Don't let a robot think they're better than you. All right, I need to get off here. Toilet talk later.